Hello, I'm Madam Eva, a biology teacher from Educare TZ, and I'm here, my dear students, to take you through a series of sections of solving papers. And here we are going to solve the questions of Necta, the Necta from 4. And today we will deal with the question number 7 and the question number 9 of the year 2013. As you can see, our question comprises two parts, part A and part B. Part A needs us to name and explain any 4 theories of the origin of life, but part B needs us to outline 2 ideas of Darwinian theory. My dear student, as you can see our question, we have to answer it well, as long as we have to ask ourselves questions on from which the topic our question is extracted. This is purposely in order to gain an insight and to recall on the knowledges and concepts concerning that question. Also, after knowing the topic in which your question is extracted, you have to understand the part of the topic in which the question is extracted, because the topic does not comprise single part, it comprises several parts which made it. So you may find, for instance, this question is from the topic of evolution form 4, a topic you learned currently, even though if you don't have any idea about evolution, or even in your school you haven't studied, so you have to pass through some videos at this media of Educare TZ, so that you can gain an insight on the topic of evolution, because it was taught in this media completely from the first part of the topic up to the last one. So it's your time to explore on the websites of this media Educare TZ, so that you can get some knowledge concerning the topic of evolution, as well as other topics of biology from Form 1 up to Form 4. And now, my dear students, as you can see, our question is from the topic of evolution, but in the part of theories of origin of life, as well as the theories of organic evolution. Kwa hiyo swali letu limetoka katika theories of origin of life, pia limekuwa extracted katika theories of organic evolution. And I hope, my dear students, if you have passed through the topic, utakuwa una idea on what our question wants. Utakuwa una mwelekeo wa kuweza kujibu swali lako vizuri. Lakini, my dear student, another thing to ask yourself is from which section is this question placed. You can see this is the question number 7, and it is placed at the part B of your examination paper. And this part for Form 4 to comprise 8 marks. So it's your time now to make sure that all marks will be yours. You'll never lose any point from that 8 marks. And that will put you in a good position of passing your examination of a particular topic. Wherever you use those procedures or tactics of solving questions, you will be capable of getting those marks allocated in the question. And my dear students, now let's go to answer our question. Starting from part A, then we will land on part B. As you can see, we are required to name. As you can see, the question need 2 things. First, to name, and second, to explain. The question wants you to name. After naming, you have to explain. So understand the question before you start to answer. Kwa sababu wengine wataanza kuandika the theory na kuexplain before they name it. The question need you to name. After naming, ndo uanze kutoa majibu. Now, my dear student, let's take a look on our solution. You can see the following are the theories of origin of life. They are about 4 as the question needs. The first theory is special creation theory. The second one is spontaneous generation theory. The third one is steady state theory. And the final one is cosmozoic theory. So, my dear students, by doing this, you already cover or answer the first part of your question. Now you are going to the second part of your question on explanation side. You have to explain one theory after the another so that you will gain all marks allocated on this part. As you can see, the following is the brief explanation of these theories, and we are going to start with the explanation of the special creation theory, then we will continue with other theories. Starting with the special creation theory, you can see this theory holds that life was created by a supernatural being or divine force, and it suggests that life forms, including humans, plants, and animals, were created in their present forms and did not evolve over time. My dear students, you can ask yourself why we didn't state the theory. Ni kwa sababu theory need us to explain. The question need us to explain. So what I did here is to explain so that you can understand the question well. Even though unaweza ukapata swali jingine linakutaka state the theory, you will be in the correct position of stating the theory kwa sababu the theories are very simple in their statements. Tukiona katika explanation, theory yetu ya special creation theory inatuambia kwamba life ilikuwa created in a supernatural being. Supernatural being ni tunaweza tukasema ni kitu ambacho kina nguvu sana. And when you go to the topics ambazo tumezisoma, utakuta tumesoma the way to state. For instance, this is special creation theory. We state it in the form that the life and all things in the earth were created by the supernatural being God. And this theory, my dear student, inatuonyesha kwamba ilikuwa ni one time event na ilikuwa sio process ya over time. Tunaposema over time, it means kwamba the process tend to happen after several interval of time. Lakini hii theory of special creation inatuonyesha kwamba maisha yalitokea mara moja na kwa wakati mmoja. That is all about a special creation theory. Na tutaenda kuangalia theory nyingine, but before we leave, lazima ujitahidi ujue the strength and the weakness of the theory. Why? Ni kwa sababu you may get a question in another way, inakuhitaji explain the strength and theories and the weaknesses of the theories of origin of life. And by studying this explanation, una uwezo mkubwa wa kuextract strength na weakness vizuri bila tatizo lolote. Then, my dear students, let's take a look on the spontaneous generation or abiogenesis. So you can see spontaneous generation is the idea that life could arise from non-living matter spontaneously under the right conditions. For centuries, it was believed that life such as flies or maggots could emerge from decaying organic matter. This is all about spontaneous generation theory. In the spontaneous generation theory, the theory states that the life originated from the non-living organisms or matter. That means that the life arises from non-life. According to this theory, my dear student, in explanation, unaeleza tu in a very simple way kwamba the theory explains that life originated from those non-living matters in some centuries. We can see this theory was applicable, na tunaenda kuona kwamba experiments nyingi zilifanyika kudemonstrate hii theory, ikiwepo kutumia nyama ambayo iliwekwa katika sehemu kwa siku kadhaa, baadaye ikapata kuoza. So that meat was the non-living matter, and those maggots evolved from that meat was considered as the living creatures. Kwa hiyo hii ndo theory ambayo kidogo huyu mtu ambaye describe theory alijaribu speculate at least kuhusiana na origin of life. Again, let's take a look on the steady state theory. The steady state theory of life's origin suggests that life has no beginning and has always existed in some form. It argues that life did not arise from non-living matter, nor was it created, but has always been in existence. This concept implies that life exists eternal and continuously without any particular origin. My dear students, tukiangalia hizi explanation, the theory of steady state theory inam disagree creation theory, pia ina disagree the spontaneous generation theory by saying that the life had never originated from the non-living matter, nor was being created, but it was there from nowhere. Yani according to this theory inamaanisha kwamba maisha hayaja originate popote, yalikuwa tu in existence. Tunavyosema they come into existence, yani tu yalitokea tu ghafla, ila origin yake according to the steady state theory hajaieleza. All the theories are very simple in explanation. Pia ukielewa zaidi inakuwa ni rahisi kwako kuweza kueleza kwa undani zaidi. And also, my dear students, let's take a look on the final one, which is cosmozoic theory, or in other name you can call it panspermia. The cosmozoic theory or panspermia suggests that life originated in space and was transported to Earth via meteorites, comets, or cosmic dust. It proposes that microscopic life forms such as bacteria or spores could survive the harsh conditions of space and seed life on Earth. According to cosmozoic, the theory explains that life originated from space. Tunapozungumzia space ni other areas apart from the Earth. Kuna sayari nyingi ambazo ziko mbali na dunia na vitu mbalimbali ambako viko mbali na dunia, na vitu hivyo ndio tuna consider kwamba ni space. In case mtu akienda kule utasikia mtu ameenda kwenye space na kadhalika. Na in the space inasemekana the gravity haipo, force of gravity haipo, so vitu vina move we can say spontaneously, vina move bila force yoyote. And according to this theory inaenda kutuambia kwamba maisha yameoriginatea kutoka kwenye nini? Kwenye hizo space kama comets, asteroids, kule kwenye meteorites. That is all about this theory. So then from those meteorites and the comets, maisha yakafall into the earth. So according to this theory ikatuambia kwamba ilikuwa in the form of spores. Those spores can develop into the seed form and then living organism akatokea. So my dear student, ukiambiwa explain about this theory, you have to explain it well bila tatizo lolote. After finishing the question number 7, part A, let's take a look on the part B. The part B requiring us to give out 2 ideas of Darwin's theory, and now we are going to see those 2 ideas of Darwin so that you can understand it, kwa sababu in the teaching session hatujaziweka hizi ideas to explain observations zake na deductions zake. So take a look, take a note pia ili kusaidia wewe katika kujifunza kwako, na hata baadaye unaweza kukutana na swali kama hili katika kipindi chako cha mtihani. And now my dear student, the first idea of Darwin is the survival of the fittest. Darwin proposed that in nature, organisms with traits that give them a better chance of survival in their environment are more likely to reproduce and pass on those favorable traits to the next generation. This process leads to the gradual evolution of a species. Remember, my dear students, the scientist Darwin was among of the scientists speculated about the process of evolution, and that's why they were considered as the theories of organic evolution. And when we talk about organic evolution, we mean those gradual changes of organisms over time. Mabadiliko yale madogo madogo kwa organisms kwa muda fulani. That is all about organic evolution. And Darwin was the one ambaye aliweza kueleza the concept of evolution by means of natural selection. And now idea yake mojawapo ni survival of the fittest. My dear students, when we talk about natural selection, tunamaanisha the way ambavyo nature au environment inaamua organism gani aishi. Kivipi inaamua organism gani aishi? Ni kutokana na zile changes ambazo hizo changes zitafiti na wale organism wenye features za kuweza kuadapt yale mazingira na kuishi. Otherwise ambao watashindwa wataperish out. That is all about this idea of the survival of the fittest. The fit one will survive, but the unfit one will perish. That is all about the first idea of Darwin. And the second idea is common descent, in which Darwin's theory also suggested that All species, both living and extinct, are descended from common ancestors. Over long periods, species diverge and evolve due to adaptation to different environments, eventually forming new species. My dear, take a consideration on this secondary idea of Darwin. Tunaona kwamba ametoa idea ya common descent. How? Common descent na evolution ili correlate. We can see according to Darwin ni kwamba most of the species wametoka kwa ancestor mmoja. But what made them to change is the environment or changes occurring in the environment. There was some changes or there was some environment occupied by those species originated from the same ancestor, wakaoccupy mazingira tofauti tofauti. Yale mazingira ambayo ni tofauti kwa kila species yalikuwa na mabadiliko yake pia tofauti. Kwa hiyo wale species walibidi waadapt kulingana na hayo mabadiliko. Baadaye sasa wakaonekana ni species tofauti. That is all about it. Darwin, na hiyo ilisababishwa na mabadiliko madogo madogo kutoka kwa ancestors wao. That is all about evolution of gradual changes of an organism kwenda kutuletea new species. After then kuangalia swali la 7, twende tukaangalia swali la 9 2013, na lenyewe lina comprise part A na B. You can see the part A need to give the meaning of the following: continuous and discontinuous variation, also inherited and acquired variations. Part B need us to explain how mutation and nutritional factors cause variation among organisms. My dear students, kama ilivyo kawaida, jitahidi ujiulize swali lako limetoka katika topiki gani. Baada ya hapo utakuwa katika wasaa mzuri wa kuweza kurejelea na kuweza kujibu vizuri maswali yako. Now we can see our question is from the topic of genetics, particularly kwenye part ya variation. Pia kwenye inheritance, Mendelian inheritance kidogo swali limetoka. And now let's take a look on the answers of the question. The first part A first need us to explain how to give out the meaning of continuous and discontinuous variations. When we talk about continuous variation, you can see it refers to the differences that show a range of small changes in a characteristic across a population. These traits are usually controlled by multiple genes and are influenced by environmental factors. Hizi continuous variation zinaonyesha changes, zinaonyesha mabadiliko madogo sana katika organismu mmoja na mwingine, lakini zinakuwa controlled by multiple genes. Tunaposema multiple gene, kunakuwa kuna gene mbili. For instance, gene ya urefu na ufupi, that are about multiple gene. Na pia kuna utofauti small change kati ya mtu mrefu na mtu mfupi. Hii ndo kuhusiana na continuous variation. I hope umeelewa. Na tukija tukiangalia example include height, skin color and body weight in humans. Hizi characters zote zinakuwa mbili mbili. And then tukiangalia discontinuous refers to the differences that are distinct and separate. Individuals can be categorized into specific groups or categories, often determined by a single gene with little or no environmental influence. Examples include blood groups and the ability to roll the tongue. This is all about discontinuous variation. Discontinuous variation haionyeshi the clear cut between the characters. Na pia hii character inakuwa controlled by single gene. For instance, the kind of this discontinuous variation mfano ni blood group. Nikiwa nina blood group A, mwingine anakuwa na B. Hakuna linki kati ya hizi characters mbili. That is all about discontinuous variation. And now my dear students, tukaangalia herited and inherited traits. Inherited variations are traits passed down from parents to offspring through genetic material or DNA. These variations are present in the reproductive cells or gametes and can influence a characteristic like eye color, hair types, or susceptibility to a certain disease. This is all about inherited variation. Ni zile variation ama traits ambazo zinaweza kurithishwa kutoka kizazi kimoja hadi kingine, na zinaweza zikacarry sifa kama zinaweza zikacarry hereditary diseases, mutations na kadhalika. This is all about inherited variations. Lakini acquired variations are traits developed during an individual's lifetime due to environmental factors, habits, or life experience. They are not passed down to the next generation because they do not affect the genetic material. Example, including muscle strength from exercise or knowledge gained through learning. Tunapozungumzia acquired traits ni zile traits ambazo mtu anaziacquire anavyoendelea kuishi. For instance, tuchukulie wewe hapo umezaliwa hauna knowledge labda kuhusu tusemelee labda operation ya ndege, uengineer, lakini baadaye ukagain ile knowledge, ukasoma, ukapata trait ya kujua sana kuhusiana na ndege. Hiyo trait kwa sababu ni acquired, umeiacquire, hautaweza kumrithisha mtoto wako. Hiyo umeiacquire, but haiwi pia genetically inherited kwa sababu hiyo ni mostly zinakuwa ni phenotypically inherited. And then tukiangalia for instance mfano mwingine, umejikata labda kidole, mtoto haimaanishi kwamba mtoto wako ataweza kuzaliwa na kidole kilichokatwa kwa sababu that is the acquired trait. So ukiulizwa kuhusu acquired trait eleza vizuri na ukiweza weka mfano. Now tunaenda kuangalia part B of the question ambayo ilikuwa inatuhitaji tuonyeshe how nutrition factors and these mutations can cause effect kwenye phenotypical appearance ya organism. Starting with mutations, we can see sudden and random changes in the DNA sequence of an organism. They can occur due to errors in DNA replication, exposure to radiation, or chemical agents. Mutations can introduce new traits or alter existing ones, leading to the genetic diversity. Some mutation may be beneficial, harmful, or neutral depending on the impact on the organism fitness. Tunapozungumzia mutation na effect ya organisms fitness na phenotype yake, tunaenda kuzungumzia kwamba mutation inaenda kupelekea mabadiliko ya chromosome, na mabadiliko haya yanaweza yakawa ni positive au yakawa ni negative kulingana na kind ya mutation, either ni harmful ama ni beneficial. And then my dear students, tukiangalia nutritional factor play a significant role in the phenotypic variation. We can say adequate or inadequate nutrition during growth and development can affect traits like height, body mass or cognitive abilities. Pia nutritional factor inaweza kusababisha variation kwa organism kwenye height yake, kwenye physical appearance yake, kulingana na kwamba the way maybe inaenda kuaffect ile genetic makeup. For instance, mtu ni mrefu anashindwa kupata nutrients then anakuwa dwarf. Now tukaangalie mfano wa poor nutrition. You can see poor nutrition during childhood may stunt growth even if the genetic potential for tall stature is present. Nutritional factors do not change the genetic code directly but influence how genes are expressed. Epigenetics. Epigenetics ni ile kitendo ya factors nyingine kuinfluence genetic expression yake. So this is all about the nutritional factor, na inaweza isi affect genetics lakini ina influence expression ya hiyo gene. And by solving our question number 7 and question number 9 2013, this marks the end of our good session, and I would like to say thank you for following us Educare Tanzania, and I would like to welcome you to continue follow our media Educare TZ for various subjects involving solving of papers of chemistry and physics, not only biology. Don't forget to subscribe, share and like it. Thank you.